Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a destination that is literally the perfect mix of total, drop-dead tranquility and absolute heart-pounding adventure. Yep, we're talking about Pokhara, Nepal. But listen, we aren't just looking at this as some pretty postcard city. If you're plotting out a trip for 2026, you've got to view Pokhara as your ultimate base camp. It's your absolute essential preparation ground before you go out there and tackle the legendary Annapurna circuit.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's how we're going to break it down. 1. Gateway to the Himalayas. 2. Lakes, falls, and caves. 3. Culture and mountain history. 4. Conquering the trekking trails. And finally, 5. Planning your Pokhara trip.
You know, our source material literally calls Pokhara the tourism capital of Nepal and the popular gateway to those renowned Himalayan trails. And what makes this place so uniquely captivating is that crazy duality. Down in the town, you've got this high-altitude boating paradise, right? It's lined with all these dreamy cafes and pubs. But then, just a few miles away, that whole chill lakeside vibe naturally transitions into a hardcore extreme adventure hub. That's exactly why it is the perfect spot to get your mind and your body prepped.
Section 1. Gateway to the Himalayas. Base Camp Pokhara. Section 2. Lakes, falls, and caves, the low-altitude wonders.
So here is an absolute essential preparation tip for any of you hikers out there. Spend a few days exploring at a lower altitude first, just to acclimatize. And the contrasts here are just incredible. You've got the total serenity of Phua Lake, where the water literally reflects the towering Annapurna range like a giant mirror. Then you've got the hidden depths of the Seti River Gorge. This river just carves its way through these crazy deep gorges. And hey, if you want a really good warm-up hike, head up to Sarenkot. It's a super popular viewpoint just outside the city, and it gives you these absolutely breathtaking panoramic sunrise views over the mountains. It's basically the perfect playground for your lungs and legs before you even step foot on the actual Annapurna circuit.
Now, speaking of geological wonders, you cannot miss this one. The local Nepalese name is Pateli Chango, which literally translates to underground waterfall. Most tourists just know it as Devi's Falls. But guys, this isn't your typical waterfall that just splashes into a nice little pool. Oh no. It actually plunges straight down into a hidden subterranean tunnel system. It's totally surrounded by all this lush flora, and it's just a genuine marvel of how water has completely shaped the environment here.
And that whole underground theme, it totally continues if you head over to the local caves. For those of you who love exploring subterranean spots, Mahendra Cave is packed with these captivating natural limestone stalactites and stalagmites. And then right nearby is Bat Cave, or Chamaro Gufa. And yeah, exactly as the name implies, you have to venture into the dark depths of this limestone cavern to witness the massive colonies of bats just hanging out inside. It's wild.
Section 3. Culture and Mountain History. The Heart of the Himalayas.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the number 14. What does it represent? Well, if you are gearing up for a major trek, mental preparation is just as crucial as physical prep. So hitting up the International Mountain Museum in Pokhara is an absolute must, because it extensively documents the 14 highest peaks in the whole world. It dives deep into the culture of the Himalayan people, the insane history of mountaineering achievements, and all the popular excursions tied to these massive summits. Let me tell you, it really puts the sheer scale of what you are about to attempt into incredible perspective.
Down in the city's streets, the cultural contrasts are just as fascinating. On one side, you have the old Pokhara Bazaar. It's this traditional market area that is just pulsating. Bustling streets, amazing authentic Nepali cuisine, local handicrafts, and historic Newari architecture, like the ancient Bhimsen Temple, which is actually dedicated to the god of trade. Then on the other hand, you have the Tibetan refugee camp. This is a super peaceful educational center dedicated entirely to preserving Tibetan traditions, arts, and crafts. Comparing that energetic vibe of the historic bazaar with the serene, culturally preserving atmosphere of the Tibetan camp, it just gives you such a beautifully balanced view of the local population. And hey, if you need the moment of quiet reflection before your big hike, the spiritual monuments here are honestly second to none. You can take a little boat out to the tall Barahi Temple. It's a sacred Hindu shrine sitting right on a small island in the very middle of Phua Lake. Or if you're feeling a bit more active, you can hike up the hilltop to the Shanti Stupa, the World Peace Pagoda. Both of them offer this profound sense of serenity, all set dramatically against the backdrop of those massive snow-capped mountain ranges.
Section 4. Conquering the trekking trails. Ascent to adventure.
And running through these options brilliantly illustrates exactly what we're talking about.
Knowing your time commitment is another completely essential preparation tip. Look, if you're short on time, the Dampus Village trek is super accessible, just 25 kilometers away. Only got a weekend? Poon Hill is a 2-day trek that rewards you with these stunning, jaw-dropping sunrise views over the Dhaulagiri Range. But the absolute crown jewel, and the ultimate goal for most hikers coming here, is the world-renowned Annapurna Circuit. Taking anywhere from 10 to 21 days depending on your pace, this is the granddaddy of them all. This is the trek you are truly preparing for, offering spectacularly diverse landscapes and really rich cultural encounters.
You know, one of the massive highlights along these routes, especially in the Annapurna region, is Gorapani Hill. Just imagine this. You're spending your days hiking through these vibrant, lush rhododendron forests in full bloom. And then you finally break through the tree line and bam! You are greeted by these breathtaking, towering Himalayan panoramas. It is this highly sensory, almost overwhelming experience that makes literally every grueling step of the ascent completely worth it.
Section 5. Planning your Pokhara trip. Logistics and timing. So, when should you actually go? Nailing this down is vital for your trek preparation. Peak season is October to November. That is when you get those crisp, completely clear skies and excellent visibility of the mountains. It's undeniably the most popular and frankly ideal time for trekking. Alternatively, you've got the moderate season, stretching from March to September. Now, while visibility can definitely vary during these months, you are rewarded with milder temperatures, way fewer crowds, and those beautiful blooming rhododendrons we just talked about. You really just have to weigh what's more important for your specific hike: crystal clear skies or vibrant floral landscapes.
Okay, let's talk transit. Getting there is basically a two-step process. First up, you'll generally arrive in Kathmandu via an international flight, or, you can cross the border by land if you're coming up from India. Step 2 is getting to base camp. Now, Pokhara does have its own international airport connecting to Kathmandu and Delhi, but honestly, a lot of hikers actually opt for the road trip. It's a 6 to 7 hour scenic bus ride from Kathmandu, and it really lets you take in the incredibly transitioning geography of the country.
Once you arrive, another key preparation tip is planning out your post-trek recovery. And get this, current data shows a super surprising pricing anomaly in Pokhara right now. 4-star hotels are actually averaging cheaper than 3-star hotels. We're talking under 4,000 rupees for a 4-star, compared to nearly 9,000 for a 3-star. No way, right? What this means is that setting up a slightly more luxurious base camp so you can soak those tired muscles after the Annapurna trek is incredibly accessible.
Well, there you have it. We've explored the serene lakeside, journeyed through the hidden underground caves, immersed ourselves in the local mountaineering culture, and outlined the exact logistics you need for a perfect 2026 trip. So the only question left to answer is, which Himalayan trail are you going to conquer first? Whether it's a quick, punchy hike to Poon Hill, or you're packing your bags for the full 21-day Annapurna circuit, Base Camp Pokhara is ready and waiting for you. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and hey, happy trekking!